Finally, we have new leadership in the White House and the golden age of America is upon us. Executive orders are flying all over the place, and today we're going to talk about 3 top executive policies and how those policies might affect the housing market in 2025 and beyond. So stick around. I'm Tony. This is Run the Comps. Here we go. Welcome back to Run the Comps, the channel that values up your real estate game. My name is Tony. I've been a licensed agent and an investor and a property analyst for well over 20 years, and I've seen some crazy things in my time. Today, I am super excited about the new leadership in the White House and all of those new policies that are going to kickstart our economy and get things going in the right direction for America. So let's jump right into it. This executive order, along with all the new executive orders, are posted at whitehouse.gov, and you can find a link down below in our description. As the order states, the previous administration's destructive policies inflicted an historic inflation crisis on the American people. They initiated crushing regulatory burdens and radical policies designed to weaken American production. Hardworking families are overwhelmed by the cost of gas, food, automobiles, medical care, utilities, and insurance. The assault on American energy production and wrongful regulatory mandates against gas-powered vehicles has driven up the cost of transportation and manufacturing. Many Americans are unable to purchase homes due to historically high prices, in part due to regulatory requirements that alone account for 25% of the cost of constructing a new home, according to a recent analysis. President Trump understands that it's critical to restore purchasing power to the American family and improve our quality of life. So this executive order was put into action, and it goes like this. I hereby order the heads of all executive departments and agencies to deliver emergency price relief consistent with applicable law to the American people and increase the prosperity of the American worker. This shall include pursuing appropriate actions to lower the cost of housing and expand housing supply, eliminate unnecessary administrative expenses and rent-seeking practices that increase healthcare costs, eliminate counterproductive requirements that raise the cost of home appliances, create employment opportunities for American workers, including drawing discouraged workers back into the labor force, and eliminate harmful, coercive climate policies that increase the costs of food and fuel. Within 30 days of this date of this memorandum, the Assistant to the President for Economic Policy shall report to me, and every 30 days thereafter, on the status of the implementation of this memorandum. Now, admittedly, this is a very broad order that covers a multitude of economic sectors. But what does it all mean? Well, there are 3 focus areas that are embedded into this policy and many others. Let's take a look at how these could impact the housing market. First, let's talk about deregulation. The policy and purpose of deregulation is to cut through all the red tape. Deregulation in the housing market is critical to improving affordability, but cutting through the red tape does come with its complications. Land use, zoning laws, building codes, and permit processes are typically more localized and more controlled by state or municipal powers and not so much at the federal level. Still, some experts believe that a federal push could encourage states to take more action. If policies such as easing environmental reviews or simplifying approval processes at the federal level prevail, then it might help reduce construction costs and give developers more flexibility to build cheaper homes. The emergency price relief order instructs agencies to lower the cost of housing and expand housing supply and report progress within 30 days. But the timeline for meaningful change remains uncertain, and the order's impact could face significant legal and logistical hurdles. Tariffs are another important tool to be utilized as new executive orders are being implemented. Tariffs on import products and building materials from places like China, Canada, and Mexico, some as high as 25%, could begin as quickly as February 1st. While the intent is to bolster domestic industries, history shows that such tariffs often lead to higher consumer costs in the short term, particularly in the housing market. For example, the 2018 tariffs on Canadian softwood lumber led to a significant spike in lumber prices, adding an average of $9,000 to the cost of a new single-family home, according to the National Association of Home Builders.
Now, remember what happened when Trump introduced tariffs in this first term, particularly on Canadian softwood lumber. Lumber prices shot up, adding nearly $9,000 to the cost of building a home.
In similar fashion, tariffs on Chinese goods, including essential construction materials like nails and wiring, previously increased building costs, which were passed on to homebuyers. Clearly, there's a fine balance to maintain as America must continue to bring in adequate supplies of building materials and keep the construction industry moving. At the same time, we need to transition to more cost-effective and dependably sourced American supplies that will enable higher numbers of housing starts in the years ahead. Finally, swift changes to America's immigration policies are likely to impact the housing sector in a couple of different ways. In 2023, foreign-born workers were more likely than native-born workers to hold jobs in construction, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The construction industry is already struggling to fill nearly 500,000 open positions. With a smaller base of skilled workers, this could continue to be a drag on new development. The flip side to this is that there are plentiful numbers of jobs available for those that are qualified. Sweeping immigration policies are also likely to create rental vacancies as free money dries up and non-legal resident occupants are relocated. This rise in vacancies could help push rent prices down and create opportunities for Americans to fulfill their need for more suitable housing. Of course, there are aspects to each of these policies that will undoubtedly ripple into the job markets. The unemployment rate is around 4%, which is considered to be relatively healthy, but wages haven't been keeping up with inflation. So it's a good thing we have some new energy production policies in place to fire up the American economy. It's an exciting time in America, and the pace of changes being implemented means that we should start to see and experience these better economic and housing conditions before you know it. Naturally, we're all hoping to see interest rates drop because that would turbocharge the housing market and affordability, but while I'm not holding my breath, this is just something that we're going to have to watch carefully over the next year ahead. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining. Please give us a like, subscribe, leave a comment to show your support. It sure is appreciated. I'm Tony. This is Run the Comps, and I'm out.